I did a Broadway show once with James Earl Jones, you know, Darth Vader, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this was a long time, about 10 years ago. And it was amazing to me. James Earl Jones is one of the most storied actors, you know, in the history of American theater and film. And what was amazing that during the Broadway show, when we would have breaks between like a matinee and an evening show, or before an evening show, James Earl Jones would be out there on stage trying to refine moments in scenes. And you know, he was never not working. He was never not looking to how something could be told more fully and more completely. And I just never forgot that. I thought it was a profound lesson that at 75 years old, he was still surrendered to the craft. It still wasn't about him. It was about how he could contribute better to the storytelling. And I thought that, and all these actors that I mentioned, they are committed deeply to the craft of acting, to the principles of acting, not to the glitz and the glamour and the fame, which they all have. You know, that's wonderful that they have access to that, but I don't believe that's what drove them to, you know, that's a byproduct of their level of surrender to the principles of the craft.
So as you're a teacher, this leads me to a question out of curiosity. I wanted to know, what do you think about having to master all the emotions when you're an actor?
I don't think you have to, ever. You see, acting is not about emotion. Acting is about trying to achieve something specific, right? And the more specific the thing you're trying to achieve and accomplish is, and the more effort you make to try to change the other person in the scene to get what you want, it is going to organically release your emotional life. I say to actors, you do not have to rev up your emotional engine. It is actually, to me, not, and it's not in the moment. If in the moment you're pursuing what you need from the other person, and you are pursuing it with the depth of your being, it is going to evoke an emotional response, particularly if you don't get it. Because if you don't get it, then what? What are you going to do next? If you don't get it, then what? What are you going to do next? It's going to have, a scene has an organic build of the effort to achieve needs and obstacles that prevent the achievement, that drive the inner life of the actor, I think. So as far as like having to you have all the emotions. We have all the emotions. We do have to gain access to them as if we're injured, but trying to say, I'm going to be angry here or sad here, or here I'm going to do this.
Yeah, because you're not a robot, right?
What's that?
Not a robot, right?
Not a robot. And it takes you out of the reality of the moment. It takes you out of the reality of, especially for film and camera, for film and TV, the camera's right here. So you have to be present. You have to just be who you are. I say to actors, who you are is the most valuable thing that you have. Stop trying to be somebody else. Be exactly who you were created to be. And I use this phrase, come home to yourself. Come home to yourself. Trust that you're enough. Trust that your unique vision and conception of things is the only one that exists like that on the planet. So that's what we want to see, who you are in the given circumstances. That will be a revelation. And so many people try to put on something rather than take off something. And we got to take off more and more and more and more, because we've had to layer so much falseness upon us in the culture that actors are required to unveil one layer at a time. That makes sense?
Yeah, a lot. Like, I want to, so I'll talk to you later for acting classes.
Okay.
What are your top 3 best films?
Oh, wow. You know, there's a film, I think the film I've seen the most in my life.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have a normal kind of selection of films. Is Cinema Paradiso. It's an older film. I've seen it so many. There's something about Cinema Paradiso that is magical and captivating to me. And every single time I watch it, I cry at the end. Every single time. It is crazy. So Cinema Paradiso, I think the other film that I truly think, and this actually I think would be on the list of many people, is Citizen Kane. You know, just an incredible comment on a time that I think is very, very, very central to the issues that are going on today. The emptiness that certain shots in Citizen Kane display, the human emptiness that's trying to be filled by so much external stuff, I think is with us in a profound way today. You know, and we're trying to fill it. And there's just no filling it with stuff outside. And so I think the third one, I don't know, I'm gonna have to throw a Daniel Day-Lewis film in there. So I'll say There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis. Just an amazing. I mean, there's so many. 3. I mean, it just.
Yeah, I guess 3 is hard to find. Like,
yeah. But it's a wide genre of films that I really enjoy. So, and if I was to throw obviously 2001: Space Odyssey, if I was to throw in you know, a science fiction film.
What are your top 3 best musicians?
You know, again, I'm old school, you know, so I gotta say Johnny Coltrane, probably the greatest tenor saxophonist ever to live. What's that?
You can sense Julian in what you're saying.
Yeah.
Musician.
Yeah. So John Coltrane. You know, I like worship music too.
Yeah.
The group that I really love is called Hillsong Worship. I listen to them almost every day because I love, you know, I'm Christian, and I love that music. It's just beautiful to me. So gospel, and I would also say Johnny Cash.
Yeah. Johnny
Cash is amazing. Amazing storyteller, amazing soul. Amazing willingness to reveal his fragility in everything that he deals with.
Nice. So, final.
Okay.
This one is the legacy question.
Oh, what's the legacy question?
Line. I am proud of.
Is this something about me or something about me?
Yeah.
I am proud. Huh. That's almost gonna make me cry too.
Yeah.
I am proud that despite all of the insanity I had to grow up with, despite all the impacts that racism has had in my life, despite all the encounters with rogue police officers, you know, despite all of the efforts of the culture, you know, that really does beat up people of color, and the impact that has had across the generation. I'm interracial, but, you know, in this culture, I grew up, you know, I was, you know, a person of color and treated as such, and felt the impacts of it. So despite all the insanity, the childhood violence, the impacts of racism, that I never gave up. You know, I never gave up. I've had my own demons to wrestle with, and they've been very dangerous demons. But there's something in my spirit that keeps reaching for life, that keeps reaching for joy, that keeps reaching for hope, and that keeps reaching for new possibilities. And I think I'm proud of that, because It could have easily gone the other way. You know, there's members of my family who died very, very young. My father died very, very young. People in jail, you know, and it's just remarkable that whatever God has intended for me is finally being realized at this later stage in my life. And I'm just grateful that I stayed alive long enough to experience it. So I'm proud of that.
And I can say I'm proud of having you today.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm so happy I met you. You're so touching.
Oh.
So thank you, Cornell, for joining us on Backstage with Sheryl Smith, and looking forward to watching The Shrink Next Door on November 12th.
Oh, you're welcome, Sheryl. You're wonderful. And I look forward to talking to you again sometime.
Yeah, for sure. Acting classes.
Absolutely. You let me know. All right. You take care.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Don't tell me about yourself.
I run a fabrics company.
So you're the boss.
That feel good?
It feels... Phyllis has always been the strong one.
You're a grown man hiding behind a wall of curtains.
I think I can help you. The first thing I'm going to do is completely unethical. I'm going to give you a hug. No, I'm a hugger.
There's no shame in feeling pain, Marty. Be the ruler of your own domain.
Work begins at 9 a.m. sharp. Phyllis! I'm trying to be ruler of my own domain.
This therapy is really working out, huh?
It is. It really is.
The goal of life is to live. Will turn you into the man you truly deserve to be.
This doctor's a little unconventional.
He's a miracle worker.
What is he doing here?
Helping us. What do you think?
So much fun.
Is that allowed?
Well, I did the work, didn't I?
He's changed my life. He's changed me.
You clearly have a good eye.
Me? You're the one with the good eye. Eyes. 2 eyes. The appropriate quota of ocular spheres. Why are we running? I don't know. Run! You are growing, Marty!
Is he your psychiatrist?
Psychiatrist, business partner, best friend.
How does all of that work?
He just has no boundaries, and I don't trust him.
Cut her out of your life. She's the only family I have. Without trust, we have nothing. I trust you completely. This is my decision.
He's living in your head.
I am going to take care of everything. Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah.